There's a warzone nuke that you can drop in Urzikstan that unlocks the rarest camo in the game. The Champion's Quest is quite the challenge, but can be unlocked two separate ways. Similar to last year, you can get 5 consecutive Battle Royale wins on Urzikstan in a row, or you can get 30 Battle Royale wins on Urzikstan in a single season. Completing either of these challenges rewards you with the Champion's Quest contract. If you're in a party and you do 5 wins in a row together, each member will get their very own Champion's Quest contract, allowing for multiple attempts. Once you've fought tooth and nail to get here, in-game there's going to be 3 separate Champion's Quest contracts that spawn. If you don't pick any up, you don't lose your contract. You want to look for these contracts spawning in the center of the circle that the gas is going to close in on. It'll make things just a little bit easier. Once you decide the circle's good enough to pick up a contract, the entire lobby will be alerted that someone has started the Champion's Quest. So you better cross your fingers and hope that there's no cheaters or top 250 players in your lobby. You'll need to collect 3 elements in order to plant the bomb. Each element is collected after completing a small objective. If you play DMZ or MWZ, you'll recognize some of these mini objectives. The 3 elements also have to be picked up sequentially. You can't pick them up out of order, and the next objective won't spawn until you pick up the current objective's element. A great idea is to get some helicopters, some LTVs, that way you can navigate through the map a little bit faster than everyone else running around on foot, and it does add some extra protection so you can get away from some sticky situations. Having your loadout is extremely important for the Champion's Quest as well. Not only will you have your weapons, which should be along the lines of the meta, you'll need smoke grenades for later on, and you'll have your perks. As someone with a PhD doctorate in Call of Duty, I don't think I have to explain why you want every advantage possible to you. The first element you acquire is beryllium. Once you've picked up the Champion's Quest contract, a supply box is going to get marked on your map. You're going to go to it and open it up. You're going to get a lot of extra money as a loot reward, and there's going to be some Geiger counters that spawn on the ground. They do replace whatever your tactical is, which should be the smoke grenade, so when you pick up a Geiger counter, just stow your smokes for later on. Once you have a Geiger counter, you're going to notice a highlighted circle on the map. You're going to head over to it and use the Geiger counter to find the first element. The higher the number on your Geiger counter, the closer you are to beryllium. There's going to be another supply box that you find that will have the first element. You don't have to open it up right away. It will not despawn. If you haven't already, this is a great time for you to grab your loadout if your team's fast and efficient. The reason you don't want to open this chest right away is because each of the 3 elements has a negative effect. It just so happens that the beryllium effect is a permanent most wanted marker. That means wherever this element is, or whoever is holding this element, will be marked with a special yet permanent most wanted symbol. Every enemy player in the entire lobby is going to know exactly where you and this element is at all times. That's why having a helicopter or LTV ready the second you open this crate is extremely important. That was my job. Grab the element and distance myself from my team. That might sound counterproductive. Why would you want a permanent most wanted with no one there to help you out? Well, I do have a helicopter so I can get away as fast as possible. And if the entire lobby is focused on where I am, the rest of my team can safely collect the other elements with as little trouble as possible. Not to toot my own horn, you probably want the higher skilled players to have the beryllium element. That way, if there's ever a sticky situation, they're able to handle it themselves and survive. Genuinely, it just makes sense. Why would you want a lower skilled player to have some of the more challenging aspects of the Champion's Quest? After the beryllium element has been picked up, the second objective will spawn. All you have to do for this objective is drill and open the safe. While the safe is being drilled, there's going to be a flare that goes off, showing nearby enemies that an objective is being completed. This flare is no different from the recon contract flare, so in a lobby where people are trying to stop a team from planting the nuke, a small flare like this isn't going to be a massive red flag to most players. Once the safe has been drilled and opened, you'll get some more loot, and the tritium element will spawn. The negative effect of tritium is disabling your radar and all vehicles close by, so whoever has this element has to travel strictly by foot. And after tritium has been collected, the final objective will spawn. There's going to be a helicopter that you have to shoot down. If you've been playing Warzone for a long time, I don't know what the special world event is called, but the way I can explain it is a bunch of attack helicopters spawn, and if you shoot them down, you get some free loot from a supply drop. It's the exact same thing except only one helicopter spawns. Once this helicopter is shot down, it drops a supply drop with the third element in it. Any team on the map can actually shoot this helicopter down, which does make it a little bit easier for you. However, your team is the only team that can open the supply drop. A smart enemy is going to watch over this supply drop and kill you as you try to get to it and open it for its contents. Inside the supply drop, you'll get some more money just like every other objective, and you'll get the plutonium element. The negative effect here is the carrier of this element and anyone close by, regardless of what team you're on, is going to take a very small amount of damage every few seconds. Plutonium is going to deplete your armor first, but when you have no armor left, then it'll eat away at your actual health, so have lots of plates if you're carrying this element. Last year in Al Mazrah, you had to wait for some of the final zones for the bomb site to actually drop in. In Urzikstan, the moment you've successfully collected all three elements, a plane will fly in and drop the bomb site regardless of what zone you're in. The faster you collect all three elements, the faster you get to plant the bomb. Odds are, most of the map won't be covered by gas yet, so enemy players aren't going to be condensed by the bomb site. When the plane actually does fly the bomb site in, all the enemies are going to know exactly where it's dropping. It's not exclusive to just your team that sees it. So when you go to deposit those elements, expect there to be a lot of enemies trying to stop you. Now, you don't have to arm the nuke instantly. You do have a lot of time to work with here, so you can either clear the bomb site and kill a lot of enemy players off, making it easier to defend, or you can get your elements in as soon as possible. In order to plant the bomb, you have to deposit all three elements and then take an extra couple seconds to arm it. I was the person with beryllium, so the smart thing for me to do was get beryllium into that bomb site as soon as possible. That way I could get rid of my permanent most wanted tracker. This is where you're going to want those perks and smoke grenades. There's going to be so many enemies watching this bomb site that if you just try to run straight to it, you're going to get gunned down pretty fast. I have no idea with the amount of vehicles driving around it how I did not die, but staying in the smoke saved my life. And with the rest of your teammates, as they deposit their elements, throwing down smokes to keep them concealed is also really important. The hardest part about dealing with the bomb site is actually arming it. It takes more than 10 seconds to plant, and you're unable to defend yourself. This is where your teammates are going to come in handy, trying to kill all those enemies that are trying to kill you. While you are planting the bomb, there is going to be a guaranteed jailbreak, so any spectators in the game are going to respawn, making it that much harder to defend the bomb. Once the bomb has been successfully armed, 2 minutes. That's how long you have to defend it and not let anyone defuse. Enemies are going to try to use every trick in the book to defuse that bomb: smoke grenades, aerial kill streaks, vehicles. You just have to defend it. That's all you have to do. Get high ground around that bomb site. Hopefully a couple of your teammates have thermal scopes, so if enemies throw smokes on it and try to sneak in there, they can see right through it. Calling in aerial kill streaks like the cluster strike and precision airstrike will block enemies from using their own and kill anyone trying to even get close to defusing it. This 2 minutes feels like it lasts forever. Eventually, the sirens get louder and louder, and you get to that final 10 seconds where no one is able to defuse the bomb, and you are guaranteed the Urzikstan Nuke. The bomb will go off, you'll get a cutscene, and you've finally completed the hardest challenge in the game. You're also going to get a lot of really cool exclusive rewards, including one of my favorite operator skins. You're going to get a couple emblems, calling cards, charms, stickers, but what most people want besides the operator skin is the melty camo. In Warzone and Zombies, this camo has one of the coolest glowing effects to it, but I'm going to be real with you. In the multiplayer side, it's absolutely tragic. It doesn't glow on most maps, even in dark spaces, for whatever reason. Besides that, it's gonna be one of the rarest camos in the game. Not only do you have to complete the Champion's Quest, if it's anything like the extremely rare flow-through camo that was exclusive to the Season 1 Urzikstan Nuke, this will never be able to be unlocked again after this season. And tomorrow is the Season 2 Reloaded update, and I don't think they will do this, but there is a chance that the camo reward for the Warzone Nuke gets updated and a brand new camo will be introduced as a reward, meaning Melted will never be able to be unlocked ever again. This camo has really grown on me too. I've been using it a lot in ranked play and I really like how it looks. I do like last season's flow-through camo way more, but I still like it, unless it's in multiplayer. Then I'd rather use anything, even no camo over it.